My husband is Jewish. Local news taught me to take each moment as one of extreme importance. Don't waste people's time. Give them solid information in a compelling fashion so they will remember it and use it in their lives. We have a lot of interesting, talented women at Fox News. My father made many narrow escapes during his time in Vietnam. I am profoundly grateful for the opportunities he gave me, and not once have I ever been ashamed to say these 5 words. Roger Ailes believes in me. I grew up military, but have met very few women that have a mission plan for when things don't work out. I attack everything like that. When I was a little girl, my father, who was a high-ranking officer, pilot, and an avionics specialist in the United States military, would hoist me up onto the elevator, the flight control surface located at the tail of his airplane. From up there, I could get a glimpse of the world as he saw it. It is well documented that Fox News has the audience demographics that other networks thirst for. Dozens of Democrats appear on Fox News each month. If it were not worth their time and energy to debate, converse, and display their experience and governing styles to millions of voters who happen to watch Fox News, wouldn't they all just line up at others' broadcast booths on Capitol Hill? One thing every Army pilot knows is that there is no such thing as a routine mission. I wrote for my university newspaper and went on to freelance for a Los Angeles publication in my first months after graduating from UC Santa Barbara. I also interned at a couple of TV stations in the LA area. Sometimes the most motivated person to change something is the one being held accountable at the moment. My mission in life is to get to heaven. So the people I have in my inner circle I don't allow to do the rule breaking that we know as Christians we can't. My purpose has broadened. My purpose now is to help as many people rise as possible, and it doesn't matter whether they're women or men. But that sense of value that we have as individuals, I think, informs us and helps us to treat each other better. Remembering growing up on U.S. Army bases stateside and abroad, the Star-Spangled Banner was played at important occasions, and often. It was the first song I learned the lyrics to. I got to travel to some pretty awesome places, learn other people's customs, and see what works in their world differently than in ours. I feel really blessed to work in a place that values me for what I bring as a journalist and as a professional storyteller and navigator of the news. But I also know that they appreciate about me, my perspective as a woman, as a black woman. I am tasked with being that voice of calm and reason and disseminating the facts as we understand and know them. We just work hard to win the viewers' respect and trust every single day. When a black church is hit in South Carolina by someone with hate in their spirit, that's something that touches all of America. But as a person of color, I see that story even through a deeper prism of, gosh, that takes us back to a time when black churches were targets in this country. People often ask how my hair has that supreme fullness even at midnight. Here's a trick that one of our Fox News stylists taught me. Backcomb your hair just at the crown for height, and then put a large Velcro roller there and wear it for as long as you can. I keep rollers in until showtime. The thing that I really love to do, that I now only do in the shower, is to sing the national anthem. I'm a motivational speaker, so I'm going to look at something in as much of a positive way as possible. On a daily basis, I'm covering things that are leaking out of the White House and leaking out what should be closed-door meetings on the Hill. That is not integrity. My mom cautioned me not to become a gossip. I was always up in people's business. People told me stuff, even when I didn't ask, and I channeled my story gathering and good sources into a hunger for the news. Americans need to be engaged and invested in the legislative process that affects their daily lives. Otherwise, we are just democracy in name only. I challenge you to go and turn on the other cable networks to find a face like mine in primetime. Candidates seeking the highest office in our government deserve the opportunity to be fully heard. When you're in Kansas City and it's game day, there is nothing going on but game day. I may not have served myself, but I grew up witnessing service, and it was perhaps my most foundational experience. For a little background, I'm what's called a brat in military circles. President Trump has made political news interesting and necessary for people to follow. Having a parent who served in the military has made me a better journalist. We become like the 5 people we spend most of our time with. Oh, we've got to be picky, and you might have to fire a few people who don't belong in that inner circle because they can't help you be your best and further your purpose. I'm living my dream totally. I mean my career dream, my home life dream with the 2 kids and the hubby. And my familial dream outside of that was for my mom to see me host my own weekday show. And she didn't live to see that, but her partner of 57 years did. I'm sure it won't surprise you to learn that I kept a diary. Actually, quite a number of them over the years. Having a CEO, having that person run a news corporation who's female, is already a talking point. I'm not Pollyanna. Nobody has a magic wand. The prominence of the market, I guess, is important to some people. For me, it was less about the number and more about the opportunities that might open up in that market. One of the questions I wanted to know about that next job was, what's your weather like? I am into the weather. My dad was a fighter pilot with the 210th Combat Aviation in Vietnam. If there is something I don't know, and I suspect that I need clarification, and so does the viewer, I just ask for it. My mother gave birth to me at Fort McPherson in Atlanta, Georgia. A short while later, we were living in Stuttgart, Germany. My father, a Vietnam War pilot, used to tell me that the only really bad decisions are the ones you stick to even when you get facts that support a change in the mission. For young people, I like to talk about unleashing your integrity, because I tie it to social media and how careful we have to be about being consistent online with who we really are. I love the energy and urgency of working in news. It's not annoying to get a compliment. Every soldier I've ever met knows that you've got to do more than just run out onto the battlefield screaming, "We're going to win." Being given the honorary rank of brat is the armed services way of saying thank you to us kids for having grit too. They understand that when one member of a family joins the military, the whole family bears the weight of their service. We're very tech light in our house. You need to know how to put a mission together to victory. The Navy SEALs don't travel with 200 people. They wouldn't be able to execute the kind of tip of the spear missions they do. Technology has made our lives both more efficient and more demanding. The US military is known the world over for its advanced technology, as well as the prowess, skill, and dedication of its service members. When you grow up in the company of its leaders, as I did, you understand that this greatness is something that is cultivated. When you see me up on a breaking news story, it is not good news. I'm not about to give you the secret to my mom's sweet potato pie. Can you name a state in the United States that doesn't get some interesting weather every now and then? No. Outnumbered Overtime began as an online extension to the then brand new hit, Outnumbered. My goal was to turn an interactive, chat room type show into a source for news and compelling interviews. I get flack from everybody, which is how I know I'm living my truth. I have a certain perspective and intolerance for people who try to twist and bend whatever the truth might be. As I got older, my mother taught me to remember that your connection with people is based on what you're allowing them to touch about you, which was the opposite of what you get as a military kid. Because dad's in a uniform. He's official. You don't poke that. But with mom, you do. Always question authority. When the Murdoch family leadership chose Susan Scott to lead Fox News, who had been at the channel for a number of years and knew inside and out the system of winning, I was excited. I think it's impossible to be up close with people and to ask them to let you in if you're fake.